young men, both struggling to be artists. One a mime and actor, the other a writer. The mime. His is a body thrown together as an afterthought, held together by wire. The writer. He refers to his body as being on par with Swedish war orphans. Well, maybe not quite that good. 2 scenes in 1 act. Scene 1 occurs in the mime Watson's room. It is sparse, consisting only of a mattress, rumpled blankets, a battered old stereo, books, mostly about films, particularly the silent movies, a hot plate, and records, hundreds of them, everywhere you look, touch, and move. Otherwise bare. Watson is alone in his room. One gets the feeling he spends a lot of time here, and that this is perhaps the only place on earth he feels truly comfortable. As the scene opens, he is pacing about the room, almost frantic, but not quite. He is talking to himself, though what he is saying is not clear. Warning: this is an original play with only slightly offensive language and no actual sex or violence. Sorry.
Goddamn son of a bitch. $5 in that book. Probably loaned it to Elliot. Let us see that one again. These days I'll just tell him to his face. Shit! Make yourself at home. Don't mind me. It's only my room. I just live here.
Yeah, I was worried about you. I heard you talking to yourself. You know your downfall is the company you keep.
No, my downfall is the company I don't invite.
Well, I'm sorry. I didn't realize how busy you are.
I do have a most pressing engagement.
All engagements I'm aware of are depressing.
So are you.
Well, thank you. I didn't think you noticed. It's nice to be recognized for one's talents. It's depressing not to be.
You don't have to worry. Everyone's aware of that talent of yours.
Yeah, I know. I just go around depressing everyone I come into contact with. Just another Johnny Appleseed of depression, for God's sakes.
Well, I wish to God's sake you'd go spread your seed somewhere else.
Hey, I tried. She slapped me the paternity suit.
That's your problem. You're always so serious.
I'll take that as a compliment.
Where are you going?
Oh, I don't know. Somewhere warm and mysterious and exotic. I hear New Haven's nice this time of year.
Can I have a cigarette? Thanks. Would you be so kind as to give me a light as well?
Actually, I was just leaving. I gotta go spread my seed somewhere else. I've spread enough goodwill here for a day.
How about one for the road?
Down your luck again, huh?
My ship hasn't come in yet, but I'm expecting it any day now.
Yeah, well, speaking of any day now, what are your plans for today?
Plans? I have no plans. What are your plans?
Plans? I have no plans. What are your plans?
My plants need watering.
My plans need sunshine.
Why plan? They never plan out anyway.
You'd be better off if you got out of this room and got some sunshine once in a while. When we gotta go to Chicago anyway?
Sunshine's hard on the eyes.
Go softer if you got used to it.
I know fear can make you go limp.
You'd know, wouldn't you?
Hey, look, do you preach on Fridays too?
To who?
To whom?
I don't know, I'm asking you.
You're the preacher, you tell me.
Well, I'll tell you, brother, pack up your bony self and get yourself to glory.
You might as well, there's no collection to be made here anyway.
And I say unto you, Brother Watson, let the Lord shine his light upon your soul.
Elliot.
Otherwise you are...
Elliot! Go play.
A play. I used to play, but they never got answered, so I quit.
Would you be serious?
Oh, I'm serious. Glad to meet you.
You know, you wouldn't be so bad if you were at least funny.
It's hard to be funny when you're serious.
Surely.
What about her?
Do you want to talk? If so, you're welcome to stay. But if you want to make a lot of insane riddles, I really have better things to do.
How about sane riddles? Would that be better?
Better would be better.
Ah, your words melt in my mouth.
Listen, I have a chance to go to mime school.
Well, if it's your school, I should think so.
Mime school, not my school.
Oh, well, why didn't you say so? You want to join the army and blow up some mines? Nothing to be ashamed of.
Look, this is really important to me. I've been waiting for this all my life.
Well, I've been waiting for a bus, too, but it's never come.
And it probably never will.
Well, I should hope not. There's not much room in this room for a bus. There's not even room for us. I mean, what would we do with a bus?
It might take us out of here. Isn't that what you want?
Me? Nah. I'd rather enjoy this stinking rat hole. I'll tell you this much, Watson. You're either on the bus or you're off.
My God, you're profound.
My God, I'm amazed. I didn't think you could follow me.
Does that bus go to Cleveland?
I don't think so. I don't think it goes to foreign countries.
Oh, let's get out of here and leave me in my misery.
Stop. Oh, wait a minute. I know how important that mime school is to you. And I know how good you'll be at it, too, and that's what scares me.
Oh, yeah, mime school scares you.
Yeah, I'm afraid you'll step on a mine.
Oh, give me a break, will you?
Oh, come on, really, don't get mad. I won't have anyone to talk to.
I know. I was thinking of the same thing, and, well, I won't either.
But you were just telling me, Watson, to get out of this room. You know, your whole world has been this room and Cleveland. I mean, low life.
No life.
Miller High Life?
No, thanks, I never drink beer.
Well, you still have to get out of this room. Right? You're stagnating here, wasting away, wilting like a flower.
By God, I see a rainbow, and I'm going to follow it. What could be wrong with that?
We're going to do it. We can do it. We're going to do it. We're going to do it.
How about a cigarette?
Who is going to give you cigarettes?
Hey, I'm not a little boy. I can take care of myself. The thing you're afraid of is that I'll make it and you won't. You'll probably end up in the gutter.
Yeah, I can see I got a lot to worry about down there. I don't think there's room for both of us.
I don't have to put up with this from you or anyone else. I demand you get out of my room at once.
Out of your what?
My room. I demand you get out of my room at once.
Out of your womb?
Room.
Oh.
Room.
Ah, yeah, room. You had me going there for a minute. I wondered what I was doing in your womb, you know? I mean, I know you're weird, Watson, but not that weird.
How would you like to go to the land of the weird?
Hey, don't get mad. You know I'm your biggest fan.
I'm not trying out for the goddamn football team. I don't need a fan. I need a friend. Someone who believes in me, who has faith that I can do it, and who will tell me so.
I'm your man. I majored in faith at divinity school. You can count on me.
You never make sense, for Christ's sake. How can I count on you?
All right, here on my finger. See, 1, 2, oh.
You cover up your emptiness with these goddamn jokes. That's why you can't even talk straight English. You don't dare to for fear you realize what a failure you really are.
Oh, yeah, and you're the big star, I suppose. Well, I got news for you. I've been a star all my life, twinkling and shedding light on people's ignorance.
Yeah. You do seem a lot clearer to me now.
You can't talk like that to me. I am a star.
Oh, yeah, you are a star. The mere mention of your name sends shivers of recognition throughout the room. Oh, may I have your autograph?
You know, you talk pretty good for someone studying to be a dummy.
Mine is an art, a way of communicating without speech. And the more I hear you talk, the more I realize I'm doing the right thing.
See, there I am an inspiration to you. What would you do without me?
Talking is a waste of breath. All that comes out of people's mouths are lies and idiotic chatter. Not to mention any examples.
Well, anybody can do mine. Look here, I'm a statue.
Oh, if only you were.
Thanks a lot.
Actually, that's not a bad representation of a statue. Now, just hold that pose. Don't move, and above all, don't talk. Excellent. Now, you're moving.
A brilliant, sharp eye for details, the mark of a great artist. But what's it say in that mind book of yours about a statue that has to go to the bathroom?
Then it becomes a fountain.
Oh, very funny. You should have been a comedian.
Thank you. I hadn't realized you'd noticed.
Sharp eye for detail. What'd I tell you? The mark of a great artist.
You'd make a great mark standing there with a dog as a statue with a dog lifting his leg on you. Poetry in motion.
Ah, finally you recognize me for the great artist that I am.
A drawer of flies.
Hey, I used to catch flies as in the Little League.
But you see why I want to be a mime? The level of this conversation is pure drivel. I can't stand any more of this. Let's get out of here.
Which way out?
Haven't figured that one out yet.
Doesn't matter. I can't move anyway. I'm a statue, remember?
Scene 2. Our heroes are now on a train bound for Fort Wayne on their way back from Chicago. They are loaded down with papers. The scene is in the present tense. Some of the action is in the past tense as they relive their adventures in Chicago. They somehow manage to get separated and are reunited on the train.
Where you been? You just disappeared. I know you're skinny, but not that skinny. Even a scarecrow leaves a shadow.
Funny, I don't see yours.
Funny, you call that funny?
I call you funny.
Forgot my name already, huh?
Oh, that's very funny.
No, that's not my name either.
Look, do you think we could stop this ridiculous chatter long enough to talk for a minute? I might have thought you'd been worried about me.
And I was worried about you and me and all little men lost in Chicago. I thought the wind picked you up and dropped you out in Lake Michigan. You'd be floating toward Milwaukee right about now.
If I hadn't hit the Sears building, I'd be somewhere in Canada.
Thank God those papers are safe, but what'd you do to them? They look worse than you do.
If you want to know the damn truth, these damn magazines damn near cost me my damn life.
Well, at least you'd have got off cheap.
That crack will cost you. I'll crack open this window and just throw them right out. They like it
No,
out
no,
there
hey,
anyway.
don't do that. After all we went through to keep them, I'd like to keep them around. So come on, relax and tell me what happened.
No.
Oh, come on.
What do you care anyway? You care more about these damn pieces of paper than you care about me. I could have been robbed, for Christ's sake. I was damn near kissed by an oncoming truck and blown to Oz with Dorothy.
Hey, that wasn't a truck that almost kissed you.
And wasn't that weird? I would have thought Bunny magazine would be the one place where a man's man would hang out.
That's what they were, a man's man.
Lucky for you, you aren't a man.
Hey, well, it does come in handy sometimes, but I don't want them getting handy with me.
Well, just keep your mouth shut and you'll be all right.
It's their mouths I'm worried about.
Well, I don't think it very much mattered. They were pawing at each other and coming on to you, too. I've never seen such a desperate lot.
You know, speak of desperate, one of them seemed interested in you.
I do have a boyish quality.
Boy, you sure do. They didn't.
I suppose you think they were born that way.
No, you know, I think they learned it in school. I'm sure they had a workshop, a course or two in it.
What course is that?
Intern.
Of course. I noticed you buried your face in that centerfold.
I beg your pardon. I never played centerfold. I played rightfold.
Come on. That wasn't Sports Illustrated you were reading. You just didn't want to give those guys the wrong idea.
Hey, right for them, wrong for me. Quit passing judgment.
Ah, my boy, I see your problem so clearly now. Yeah, it is coming to me. Yeah. It is a repression of the id that you feel. And guilt. You cannot repress these feelings. Go with the flow. And if you feel an urge, act on it. Are you afraid of being with a man?
No, it's women I'm scared of.
Oh, that's better. I know a lot more about that. Did I ever tell you about Dora? Oh, that was an interesting one, that one. A classic case of the Oedipus complex. I tried to tell her, Dora, you're okay. I'm okay. Okay?
Hey, I'm not here to talk about Dora.
She wanted to talk about women. And that's why I brought up Dora. And Dora is quite a woman.
Well, yeah, well, that's fine, Dr. Freud, but I still...
Look, of course it's fine. I'm even writing a book about it. And a very good book, too, I might say so, if I do say so myself, and I do. In fact, it's time I got back to my writing. Time?
Time? What do you mean time? You spent the whole time talking about yourself.
And why shouldn't I?
Because I'm your patient and you're my doctor. You're supposed to help me, not rattle on about Dora and all these books.
Books? What books?
Books, the books you were just talking about.
What books? I got millions of books, you fool, but I need a patience.
Yeah, that and a little compassion wouldn't hurt either.
Wait. Do you seem to have a cigarette? I think I'm out. Dankeschön, my boy.
Thank you.
You know, there's nothing like a good cigarette to get the mind rolling. Now, tell me, my boy, what is bothering you?
Nothing. Maybe a little. Everything. I'm too confused to even know.
No, that confuses you.
Confusion really confuses me.
Try and focus on something.
Well,
Go on.
it's about myself.
Ah, very good.
Well, I want to be a writer, but I don't know how.
Do you want to be a writer of truth? If so, that would confuse anyone.
Yeah, I do, but I mean, I'd like to be, but I don't know how.
It's up to you, my boy, no one else.
Well, I know, but nobody cares. Nobody supports me.
Who do you want to support you?
My friend.
What about your friend?
Well, he wants to be an artist too.
What kind?
Kind of a mime artist. You know, he's pretty good too, and I try to tell him that, but he never says anything about me. I mean, we're good friends, but we just cover everything up.
I see. I'm interested. What you mean to say is that there's a distance in your closeness.
Yes, that's it, Doctor. Very good. That's exactly it.
But I need more specifics. You're talking in riddles.
Well, I don't know what else to say. But you know, you're just like everybody else, just blaming me all the time.
And my boy, how do you expect your friend to be honest with you when you can't even be honest with me?
Well, we just cover everything up.
My boy, now you're covering up. All I simply mean to say is that if you want me to help you, you must help me. We all like to cover up.
Perhaps that's when we're only when we are our true selves is when we do cover up.
That's the biggest cover up of all.
What do you mean?
I mean simply that to know, we must seek. And to seek, we must be brave.
How do you make somebody brave?
By seeking.
Now you're talking in riddles.
My boy, the road to truth is a confusing one. It is like being in a house of mirrors. Everywhere you look, there is some image of yourself, some portion of the truth. But putting it all together, that's the tricky part.
Otherwise, I wouldn't need to be here, right?
That is correct. You know, I had a friend like you, a patient that reminds me of your friend. You remind me of him too. Frankie, Kafka, that was it. Yeah. What a puny little man. Well, he really had his problems, that one. He thought he was an insect. Yeah, he used to come into my office and curl up on my couch in a disgusting manner. But his problems did not stop him. Indeed, his problems caused him to seek the truth. He was a seeker, that one.
Yeah, but he had talent.
Talent isn't everything, my boy. You see, you are seeking from your friend, but you must first seek in yourself. Trust. And how do you find trust? By being honest with yourself. Only then can we be honest with anyone else. That's all we have and all we can be.
You know, that's easy for you to say.
That's easy for anyone to say, but the doing, the doing.
Yeah, that's what scares me.
Fear is no excuse.
It is when you're afraid.
It is the fear you must overcome. You will always have it, but you cannot let it stop you. And that applies to all fears. And now I'm afraid we really are out of time. I must get ready for Dora. We're doing some research on my cocaine papers, and it's high time we got to it. Auf Wiedersehen.
Well, thank you, Doctor. That man is uncomfortably familiar, I swear it.
What man is that?
That shrink I go to.
How so?
I don't know how to sew.
So what?
I don't know how to sew nothing.
That's good, neither do I.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that.
I'm so sorry we ever started this.
Started what?
Here we go again.
Would you stop talking in riddles?
I only know French and German. It must be somebody else.
Watson, you are just out of whack.
That's ridiculous. I got plenty of whack. Whack, 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 whack.
Duck! Punt on the run.
Seriously, weren't you glad to get out of that coffee shop?
Boy, I sure was, but you know, even that was better than that hotel lobby house of mirrors. You know, in and out of revolving doors, looking for Rob in all the wrong places.
But it was all twist and turn of events.
It really started with that elevator ride.
Your life has always had its ups and downs.
You wouldn't be trying to give me the shaft with a line like that, would you?
You hit it right on the button.
Well, I'm floored.
That's a relief. I was afraid you'd hit the ceiling.
Now the elevator doesn't go to the ceiling.
I can't believe this conversation.
Well, you started it.
No, you did. You were the one that hit the button for the elevator.
Yeah, that thing really shot up, too.
When it did, you damn near threw up.
And that wasn't the elevator that did that. That was your sick jokes.
Now that's just sour grapes because my jokes are funnier than yours.
No, not sour grapes. Sick jokes.
You know there's no better companion on an elevator than my jokes.
Yeah, well, that's the only way they can get off the ground, too.
Look, can we get back on the track?
I wasn't aware we were off of it.
We've always been off the track.
I feel like a train's run through mine.
Oh, did someone mention my name?
Oh, train, not Twain.
Oh, I've been on a train, sure, plenty of times. A slow train, too. It was on a hot summer night. My traveling companion was a coffin. It had never bothered me much to travel with a coffin, as long as there's somebody in it. Otherwise, I'm afraid it's prepared for me. I've spent a lot of time with dead people, don't you see? Some of my best friends are dead. I must say, none of them raised quite a stink about anything as my friend did there on the train. He was a standout on that point. Bound to get noticed in any crowd. That fragrance he had was a perfume of freshly chopped garlic magnified innumerable times. Well, the air was so hot and the aroma so pungent and fierce, I hardly needed to light my cigar. Well, when I did, it shot me clear up to kingdom come. I passed the deity on the way down. I wanted to have a word with him, but it was his day to work on disasters. I've always kind of wondered about the deity. I read an article in a paper the other day by one of his spokesmen who says we should be ashamed of our naked bodies. Seemed he was saying that our finest moments are when we're fully clothed. Mine sure aren't. I do take that flood of a few years back, Noah and the ark. He really had his chance with that flood. Passed it right by. I've always questioned the wisdom of that.
Would you knock it off? I mean, look, people are looking at us. I mean, you're embarrassing me if you want to know the truth.
Look, someday they'll pay to look at me.
Why, you going to join the sideshow?
Hey,
Hey, no, really, right? I mean, it makes sense, Watson. They got the world's fattest man, the two-headed man, and the bearded lady, sword swallower. Why not the world's punyest man? You found your calling. Step right up, ladies and gentlemen, step right up. Look at here on our stage, you will not believe your eyes, the world's punyest man. And don't you dare blink them, or you'll miss him.
hey, if you're going to be the barker for this sideshow, how are they going to tell which is the world's puniest man?
Oh, well, you're the one with the French accent.
I have never had an accent. It is you and your kind who have the accent.
No accent? You mean you do all this on purpose?
I have not been the world's puniest man in this disgusting carnival all my life. I was once the head general of the French Execution League in France, in the Department of Morale.
Oh, yeah? Well, what happened to you that you now work as the world's puniest man?
Ah, monsieur, the rust of time has clogged the blade of the guillotine and dulls the edge of French life.
Then you mourn the passing of the guillotine?
No. Mound, did you say? How would you know? You are not there. You did not feel the surge of excitement pass, how you say, through your veins. Oh, it was splendid. Crowds of the thousands would gather on the night to get a good view. And when the head would come off, oh, it was heaven! Screaming in my ears of magnificent, exquisite. Oh, sometimes I would always have to take a bow. And sometimes I would have to do an encore. In that case, we would just pick someone out of the crowd. No, they would scream. Do you have a cigarette?
Yes, I'm honored, sir, yes.
Merci.
You're welcome.
This is a cigarette.
Yeah. Hey.
Still, flatter than Midwestern plain. It is not round, firm, or fully packed. Smells as though it were soaked in cow dung. We would not give this to the condemned.
Hey, wait, I don't care if you are the French general in the Department of Morals. If you don't like it, you can shove it right up your...
Ashtray handy? Hey, you got another cigarette?
Oh. And you're puffing away like an old locomotive on that cigarette.
You ain't seen nothing yet, boy. I'm just beginning to build up steam.
Well, you ought to derail that habit of yours. It's not good for you.
Habit? I have none.
None of what?
None of the above.
My old Sunday school.
That's irreverent.
I thought they were priests, not reverends.
You haven't much reverence for anything, have you?
None. That reportedly is their problem.
What?
They don't get none.
Hey, watch it. That's my religion you're stepping on.
Sorry, didn't see it down there.
You talk real big for the guy that got us into this mess. These damn papers and magazines were supposed to be our ticket out of here.
Well, yeah, well, it's not my fault you're so clumsy you can't even carry a few lousy papers.
Clumsy? Hey, look, that wind was blowing out there like a son of a bitch. Besides, I never had a class in paper carrying. How was I supposed to know?
Quick! Is there a phone on this train? It's not too late. We can call the continuing ed hotline and find out how to carry papers for you.
Great. Only first you need a class on how to use the phone.
Elementary, my dear Watson. Didn't think of that.
You obviously haven't had the class in logic yet.
Well, we were a real class act, looking for Rob in all the wrong places.
Looking for Rob in too many places.
Oh, your singing's worse than your jokes.
It is not.
Okay, so your jokes are worse than your singing.
Thank you. And I'd also like to thank my producers. But even so, Mom and Dad, I don't hold it against you. I know you didn't do it on purpose. It was just a sudden urge on a hot summer night. I mean, what the hell you gonna do? No hard feelings. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Pa. I do think you owe it to me to just tell me one little old thing. How the hell do I get out of here? You brought me into this world. How you gonna get me out?
Step right up, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the House of Mirrors. Just follow your own image, and it will tell you where to go.
That's my whole problem.
Unbelievable. The world's skinniest man. So skinny the mirror can hardly hold his image. Look at those knees. Look closely. They are there, strong as rubber bands. See the little man blowing down Lakeshore Drive, across Michigan Avenue. See the world laugh. He dodges. He darts. He ducks on a moving truck. Papers blowing about like a ticker tape parade for a hero gone berserk. You can scarcely see the image of the little man swarmed under by an avalanche of cascading papers falling upon his head. And an anxious world wonders, where did the little man go? And the little lady standing by the huge skyscraper answers,
He went that way.
the eyes of the world are upon him. But wait, look, the eyes are diverted. It's a rat. No, not the little man, another rat.
Welcome to the WONG Welcome to the WONG live action eyewitness up to the minute, don't you dare miss it news. Flash! A fiery collision left 48 innocent bystanders struck dead by scattered debris. An eyewitness to the carnage reported that 2 limousines collided. The drivers, both dressed in tuxedos, leaped from their cars and began hurling insults at each other in highly abusive language. This was followed by fists, a mechanic's wrench, a handgun, and finally, submachine guns. The eyewitness report says that it was the submachine guns that caused the scattered debris. Reportedly, there was enough to level at least New York, San Francisco, Chicago, and possibly downtown Cleveland. Back after this commercial break.
Now to stop that, can't think straight, low on energy, try FACT nasal spray and sniff out the facts. That's FACT nasal spray.
We have our eyewitness reporter on the scene to give you the exciting news. Now, we don't have this confirmed yet, so don't get too excited, but there is information from an informed source that there may be as many as 48 bodies strewed about the ground like bowling pins. If so, this would mean a new world's record for the most people killed in one accident. And now, live from downtown Chicago, our eyewitness WONG, Don't You Dare Miss It news reporter on the scene. Come in, Dan.
Yes, it is I, Dan. Thank you. Welcome to WONG Live Action. That's why they call me the Live Action News Reporter. Eyewitness News. Welcome to Countdown, a world record in the making, brought to you by General Motors. A nose-to-nose count of the casualties, the next best thing to being there. And now, while our auditing department makes the count, I now go to an exclusive interview with one of the survivors. Ma'am, tell me, welcome to WONG Live Action, Don't You Dare Miss It Eyewitness on the Spot News. Tell me, how do you feel?
Oh, well, I'm just real pleased to be here.
Well, we're very pleased to have you. Ma'am, tell me, how did you feel when the bullets ripped through your flesh?
Deep shock and then resentment. But I can always see the humor in the situation.
Ma'am, you're a wonderful American and inspiration to us all.
Oh, thank you. Say, look, could you get an ambulance or something? If you excuse the phrase, I'm bleeding like a pig. I don't think I'm going to make it if you don't get some help.
Is this the most you've ever bled?
I think so. I think it is. Hi, Mom. Listen, could you hurry?
Ma'am, if you should die, would this be the first time you've ever died? Ma'am?
In living memory, yes.
Thank you, ma'am. And now we'll be back after another commercial break for FACT nasal spray.
Well, did you get all those facts straight? Else, if you haven't, I suggest you get your head all cleared up. Elsewise, me and the boys, we may have to pay you a little visit. Nothing personal, just business.
That's FACT nasal spray. If you know what's good for you, you'll run out and get FACT nasal spray and get that head cleared up. And now joining me, I'm honored to have Dr. Johan de Kraft, noted psychologist specializing in crime. He recently testified on drugs. Dr. de Kraft? Dr. de Kraft. Yes, sir. Welcome to WONG. Don't you dare miss it on the Spot Live Action Eyewitness News. Tell me, Dr. de Kraft, sir, how did you get interested in crime?
I'm real happy to be here. Anywhere, actually. Why did I? Oh, well, it pays more than analysis does. No, but I paid my debt to society. I spent 48 years in school, and I have 18 different doctorate degrees, and I'm straight now.
Well, Doctor, thank you. I wondered, Doctor, if you could shed some light on all this violence we're experiencing, sir. Why do people kill each other?
Because they're there.
Doctor, that is good stuff.
Sure is.
But I wonder if you could put that in language our audience can understand.
Oh, well, yeah, sure. People are more likely to kill when they have a gun than when they don't.
They're also more likely to kill. When they feel angry or resentful or alienated than when they feel real good about themselves.
Yes. Sir, I wonder if, I just hope our audience can follow this. That's good stuff.
But if I go too fast, just let me know. But here's something else. When a person is killed, they will cancel all future activities.
Doctor, are you saying that the consequences of murder go beyond the actual event and will affect the murdered party for the rest of his life?
Oh, sir. Party? Is there going to be a party? I want to go to the party. I'm ready for the party.
Dr. Hohandicraft, thank you so much for joining us here at WNG Live Action. Don't you dare miss it. On the Spot Eyewitness News. Thank you all for watching. Have a good evening. Good night, everyone. See the little man keep on running. See him barely escape the burning truck. Ah!
Well, that's one way out of here.
Which way?
That way.
Milky Way?
Airway.
No way.
I wish we...
Who doesn't?
You don't.
Who
Who what?
doesn't?
He doesn't.
Which way out of here?
I wish I knew.
Fort Wayne, out the rear.
We performed this afternoon at the Senior Citizens Recreation Center.
Don't give away our secrets.
Well, actually, they were spared a great deal, inasmuch that we forgot key lines that just skip pages of it. They got away without Twain and a whole lot of other things. You got some with everything.
We would like your ideas, comments, not necessarily your criticisms, but anything that you were so moved to say by the play.
Or the emotional content of the puns, or where we can get some others cheap. Not that these weren't cheap enough, but I mean, you got to keep going lower if you're going to go at all. But any questions? Rags, bones, bottles today. I mean, this is the first time I've ever done anything like this. I mean, I've risked my life doing other foolish things when I was younger, but this one could have got me shot.
Well, maybe we could talk a little bit about how we came to write it and performed it, since you mentioned this was the first time. It is an original play. Obviously, nobody else would have had the nerve to get up here and do something like this. Basically, Stephen and I have known each other for a long time, going back, 5 years. And about midway in that time, we both decided that we would really like to do some kind of a play together. At that time, Stephen was almost exclusively a mime artist, and we couldn't figure out a way for him to do mime for a whole 30 minutes.
I couldn't talk without sniffing, but I'm over that now. No.
Then about a year ago, both of us coming off of a long depression, inactive period, which is
4 years.
4 years. That's all, 4 years.
I know I haven't grown in that time.
And we thought that this would be a good time to do it. The play has gone through a lot of rewrites. We've done it just for a few people here and there, and then Stephen mentioned that we did it at the Senior Citizen Center this afternoon. we did the worst performance there we've ever done of anything, anytime, anywhere, and we were just scared to death tonight that we would do even worse, although it would be hard, we would have been hard pressed to have done it worse. We skipped about 3-4 pages of dialogue over there because we were nervous. We thought if we were nervous there, what are we going to be doing? I guess we made it. Anything you want to say about the writing of it?
Yes, we had a ghostwriter. We didn't do a thing of it. I don't take any risk. Actually, we wrote. I've never done anything in print before, and Terry did. Most of it was done through improvisations, and he'd ask me a question, and we'd go off into Freud or something. That was the strangest thing to write. It was something we realized that at the speed the play was going, we had to do something somewhere along in it that would slow it down a little, so that people could relax, we could relax. And we began doing that as an improvisation, and I find myself shrinking Terry here, and only I was supposed to have the answers, and I never really do. But fortunately, Freud did, and while in his character, I could make up some. I don't know what repression of the id means or anything like that. I don't know what that means.
We asked ourselves many times, which way out of here? Good.
Obviously, you two enjoy each other, and I think that's a real important factor there. And interestingly enough, I thought that the Freud segment was the best, in my opinion. That you had some real interesting, it's a nice contrast to the other parts. It worked very well.
Thank you. They got to see very little Freud this afternoon. We
skipped through that session.
That's an interesting comment because the very last thing that was written in the play was the Freud section. In fact, when it was first written, Freud was Dr. de Crack, and we figured that was just a little too irreverent for the good doctor. So we changed that to de Crack and made a more sensitive scene with Freud still trying to retain some of the humor. Yes, Stephen and I are very fond of each other, and I'm glad to say we still are. We weren't at about an hour ago. We were saying, why'd you get me into this? Me, why'd you get me into this? We had decided before the show started that if you didn't like it, I had decided that Stephen wrote it. If you liked it, I wrote it. Stephen decided the same thing, so we'll take equal blame or credit. Anybody else? Yes, thank you.
What was the reaction at Citizens Center, if any?
Very good. Yes.
Curious, yeah.
It was interesting. It was very good. We thought that it would not be, and I guess it prejudged it, but they were very kind, for one thing. And of course, since it is an original play, that's one of the advantages. Nobody read the script, so nobody knew what we were botching up out there. And we told them, we were very honest. We said, thank you very much, but we feel badly we didn't see our whole play. And they said, oh, you boys did a good job. And they thought we represented the younger generation. And Stephen...
I'm losing all my hair.
That's how old that audience was, but...
I was just curious about, some of the content, whether there was any reaction to the content.
We removed all the profanity. Threw off our timing incredibly. I think that's what got us.
That's why we missed all those lines, isn't it? Well, we did get some very sensitive comments about the confusion of today's age, that they thought the play, one lady said she thought the play captured that confusion, or did she say we captured the confusion?
She said the play was confusing, that we should be captured.
I know you wanted for that. Another man said that he appreciated and enjoyed the satire, which made us feel good.
And they also, I think, they appreciated mostly the things that were along the so what, how so, I don't know how to so the dialogue. If people that are here that are more familiar with old radio and that sort of thing, Jack Benny and a lot of the old radio personalities used to do chicken chuck things in which they just play with sounds and just bat them around. They could go a good 15 minutes on those. They liked the interview with the woman the best, and they really loved that. That
got the biggest laugh anyway. Also, the back nasal spray commercial got a big laugh. Anybody else? Doesn't have to be profound. Can be on the level of our play. I mean,
To dominate this. You mentioned you removed the profanity. It's very difficult to know when it's exactly right for a piece and when it should be removed, when it enriches, when it doesn't. Why did you feel it was essential to the particular character you were doing? Why did you put it in? Is this because it represents you or the people you're playing, or a lot of older people, and I'm an older person, question at times the need for it, when it could be done as well without. In this case, I don't think it enhanced. Now, if it enhances or really sets up a character, I think it's important that the right words, the right impression be given, and sometimes it's necessary to use language that is not always acceptable to everyone. But how do you feel about inserting words like that, and why did you choose to take them out?
For that. Because...
Good question. Yeah, Stephen wanted to put the profanity in. Go ahead and answer.
Well, profanity has such percussion to it. It's really the punctuation of language. But not all forms of language are appreciated, and coming from my mind, I'm an entertainer first and foremost. I would put myself as an entertainer beyond myself as an artist, so that pleasing the audience will have more of an edge. I'm more apt to change something to please an audience than I am to make a point. And profanity is not appreciated by, I hate to say older people because I'm getting there so fast, and we don't use that much profanity. But it's amazing how, as I say, most profanity, if I may use a few examples, like a great example.
Wait a minute. Be careful here.
One of my favorites. Are you sure about this? Well, we've already done it. But anyway, is goddamn son of a bitch. Now, if you remove yourself from that phrase, not think of the context, its implications, just the rhythm of it. Just goddamn son of a bitch. It's got a bum, bum, ba-da-da-dum, bum, bum, ba-da-da-dum. In fact, those are the very beats in Holst's The Planets, the symphonic work written by Holst, where the opening thing with the Mars, the warplane, is bum, bum, ba-da-da-dum, goddamn son of a bitch.
Are we still in the air, anybody?
But see, it has a place, as I say, in other places it doesn't. I think I've just proven here that it has no place here. And sometimes you just got to try it to find out.
Well, I would...
And it would have been out of place at the senior citizens' home. It would have offended them, and as an entertainer, it's not my place to offend, as I have.
I've never considered it punctuation, so that's an interesting...
See, it was the way my father said it, and that's the way he just...
That's a good question, though. Anybody else have any opinions on it?
Anything I can embarrass you about, or...
I mean...
Where in God's name did you get all those awful puns?
He wrote most of the first act. I would say old movies, for me, a lot of old radio, the Marx Brothers, and also puns are universal. I mean, it's one of those common denominators in all nations. I've even known a few people who are bi and trilingual.